Hi there. What material should you have for a buyer presentation? The buyer presentation, or better yet, the buyer conversation, is a crucial yet often overlooked part of a successful real estate business. When having a buyer conversation, the materials and how you present them are a very important part of the equation. I'll talk in other videos about how to have the buyer conversation, but in this video, I wanted to do a quick overview of what I think should be included in this packet. I like to include a personalized book that includes information about the agent, but more importantly, information about the home buying process. It walks through various terms, how the process works, and includes a flow chart of what the buyer can expect to go through. It talks about lending and then has a glossary of useful terms for a buyer to understand. This book gives the buyer something concrete to go through and something that they can review later at home. It shows the agent as a true professional and a serious business owner and a great resource of information. Additionally, we've had situations where our agent would show up to meet with a new referral and the new client already had a copy of the book because the old client had given it to them ahead of time. The agent now already has trust and credibility, and this is someone that they just met. I also include all the required agency disclosure forms, the lead-based paint information, the mold pamphlet, and let's not forget the buyer representation agreement. This is an easy way to make sure you always include these forms in your packet and provide them to your client. I've also found that it's very helpful to give clients a sample inspection report. Often, they haven't seen one before or haven't in a really long time, and it's a good idea to show them what to expect. And I like to use a property that is newer and more expensive because it shows the buyer that even the nice homes also have things that need to be repaired. This also helps identify which items are really important to them and which are not. I also like to show them a really bad inspection report to give them a standard of what a good report should look like. It's easier to get over the panic of things on a report and focus on negotiations this way. It's at these times that you can really address issues early on and set expectations and give examples of how you negotiated any of those repairs. By doing this, you'll save yourself time and the stress on the clients because now they know what to expect. I also like to include a copy of the purchase sale agreement. I'm amazed at how many times a first-time buyer sees one during the rush and panic of getting an offer in on a hot property. There are a ton of questions and nuances to the agreement, and if you've given them a sample ahead of time, you can work through the entirety of the contract so there are literally no surprises to your clients and they will be educated on the process. This also allows for any issues to be brought up right away. For example, we've all had situations where you've called the buyer's lender and then they mention that they're no longer their lender. They switched. Well, the buyer didn't have the right to switch under the contract and now you're scrambling at the last minute. If you had gone over the contract in advance in detail with the buyer, you would have been able to address those issues. Not only will this show value, it will educate the client and proactively help them prevent potential problems down the road. So hopefully this gives you a starting point of what you need to be having in your own materials. Thank you so much for listening and happy selling.